Hey folks, it's Mary, aka Mercy Triumphs, and this is Slow Crochet. Today I am taking y'all on an adventure with me. It's actually kind of one that I've been on before, but as y'all know, in Nashville, Tennessee, there are several different local yarn shops in my area. They're not all in Nashville proper, but I can get to them fairly easily. Now, one of them did put out a call recently, and I'm not sure to what degree y'all are aware, but when Hurricane Helene, or Helene, came through the South, it came up and kind of parked right over the far eastern side of Tennessee and North Carolina, up in the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains, and it did a lot of damage to a lot of communities there. There was some really terrible flooding, rivers that were backed up, a lot of landslides, things of that nature. And so I've been trying to figure out what are some ways that I can help. And thankfully, one of the local yarn shops in my area had a solution for me. They are asking for donations of handmade hats, scarves, gloves, mittens, any kind of warm weather gear. And they are collecting those donations. They want us to attach a little note, and they're going to take those over, just with the idea that, you know, there's folks that have lost everything, folks that had their retirement homes up there, folks that might not have the resources to replace what they've lost. You know, it wasn't just the flooding, but it's also the mold that set in, things like that. So I thought this would be a really good opportunity. Y'all know I like to stash up to donate. So I already had a few things that I was planning on donating, but I thought, let me go through even some of my shawls, even some of my precious things, and see what is there that I could let go of. So it's a nice way to take some of the things that I've made recently, or even not so recently, that I haven't even featured here, some that you'll see are very familiar. But I thought I would go over those really quickly, and then actually, I didn't want to go alone, so I reached out to a friend. Maybe you've seen her, you'll see her here in a minute, but we're gonna go to this yarn shop together. I don't think she's ever been to it, so that'll be an extra part of this adventure. My first type of item that I'm donating is hats. So I have several hats that I've made from various acrylics here. Some of these are ones, actually I'm going to donate the two that did the very best when I was doing my low pill acrylics. These two worked out really, really well. And then I'm just doing a few others. I'm doing a Divine hat that I made a while ago. It's only been worn a couple of times, if that. I made this out of a superwash wool. And then I'm doing a couple of Granny Stitch hats. One of them is also another superwash wool that has done pretty well for us. You know what, actually, it's looking a little pilly. Maybe that one's not nice enough to go. Maybe I'll set that aside. But here's another Granny Stitch hat that I made recently, and I thought I haven't even had a chance to really wear it, but someone else will get a lot of joy from that. And then I have this black WWW hat that I made recently, and I think I wore it once, and I was like, you know what, this one could go ahead and go. This one was made out of a wool acrylic blend. And then I have a seafarer's cap like the one I'm wearing here, but I thought, you know, purple, as beautiful as it is, I bet someone else will really appreciate this large size, and they'll get a whole lot of warmth and coziness from it, and that'll really do well for someone else. So those are the hats. Then I'm gonna do some scarves. Here is one that I finished pretty recently. Y'all saw it here on the channel. This is the Crochet It For You scarf or shawl. I thought that would be really good for someone just to keep their neck a little bit warm. And then this one is one that I finished recently, and I'm still hoping to kind of figure out a tutorial situation for that, but until then, this is one that I know I wouldn't be wearing anyway, but this is like another little kind of neckerchief scarf style. That will go. And then finally, here is a beautiful cabled scarf that I just love. It's not super long, but it's really squishy and really cozy. And I was thinking I would save this to go with the hat that I made. Anyway, a little bit of a long story, but regardless, this one is gonna go as well. I am sending off two shawls, and they are two that have been featured in my famous shawl video. Famous just in that it seems to keep going, like that one video. So many people find me from that. But anyway, here are two of the shawls from that video that I think someone else will enjoy even more than I will. I just haven't found myself wearing them as often. And so I'm sending out the Trilobite shawl made out of a Noro yarn. Really beautiful. It's a wool and silk blend. So that one is going. And then the next one is one of my summer shower shawl. I can't remember. It's going to be right here. But this one is extra large, and it used fingering weight yarn, and it is a superwash merino. And even though I love this and it's super cozy and it's wonderful, I just don't find myself reaching for this as often. I think part of it is my style has changed a little bit, has maybe solidified a little bit more. But anyway, I just think that this is gonna go with someone that's really gonna enjoy it and love it. Hopefully they'll feel loved and blessed when they receive it. So I'm gonna get to work making little notes. I'm writing little love notes to attach to these, and then I will see y'all tomorrow when I meet up with my special friend. So I am back from Sunshine Weaving and Fiber Arts, y'all. I've been there before. I featured the yarn shop a couple of times, but yes, I did get to go with my sweet friend, Miss Jana Kay from Faith Flourish Fiber. One of these days, I'm gonna get all three of those words in the right order, but of course it's here if I did get it wrong. So anyway, this is my first time to bring Miss Jana Kay with me. She is new to the Middle Tennessee area, so I thought when I saw the call to donate, I thought of her, and it would be a great excuse to get her out there and introduce her to the sweet little yarn shop. They really are sweet. They are absolutely wonderful, and I was so glad to be able to bring some of my crocheted makes to donate. As you do, can't go to a yarn store without picking up a little something, but this time I was very intentional in what I was looking for, and that is the color black. So yes, of all this gorgeous yarn, wonderful colors, all I wanted was black. Now I have been thinking about a black hat, a black scarf, a black shawl. I have a black shawl, actually. I had a black hat, but I'm donating that because it didn't quite fit exactly as I wanted. So I was looking for smaller weights of yarns. Y'all, I'm even thinking about like making a black cardigan. So I was really on a one-track mind there, which was a little bit sad because when you go to a yarn store, you're just so overwhelmed by all the wonderful colors and textures. But I was good, and I stuck with black. Now, black is not the easiest to crochet with. It's not the easiest to knit with. So I think maybe local yarn shops might not be the best places for black. I might have to do something a little bit more big boxy where there's like lots of colors of the same thing and work in that realm. But that ended up kind of being what I got. So the yarn that I picked out was Barocco Vintage, and it is a 4-weight yarn. And this comes in a ton of colors. This is kind of a little yarn shop staple. It is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. And this is a 4-weight. It is 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 218 yards. So this I thought would be a hat. Maybe the hat that I'm wearing right now, maybe another version of it, but it's definitely hat season, and I thought, let me just go ahead and do a black hat from a style that I know I love, and that is what came home with me. The other thing that I did pick up while I was there was just a few of these bulb stitch markers. I had gotten these for $1 before and they were multicolored. I found them to be really helpful, not necessarily as stitch markers, but almost to like pin information to a project. So I got some more of those. Happy with that. And when Miss Jana K met up, we decided to meet up at a Hobby Lobby, which was kind of on the way. This yarn shop was in Lebanon, which is about 30 to 40 minutes outside of Nashville. But in between Nashville and Lebanon is another town that has a Hobby Lobby, and that's what we met up at. I did actually stop in at the Hobby Lobby and got a couple of things. Y'all, I never thought I would do this. But one of my children recently saw someone selling octos. So I caved. I did the thing where I said, I can make that. And the child said, but Mommy, you said you weren't going to make us anything. Which is kind of true. I have kind of set some limits of I'm not going to make you absolutely anything. But those octos are really simple to make. And I thought, you know what? Let me just bite the bullet. Let me buy the yarn. So that child picked out the color, and I will be making my very first octo out of this adorable. The color is Mint Charm. And yes, it's a 5-weight. It's poofy. But so many people make these that I thought, you know what? I might as well try it out and make a child extremely happy. As soon as this came into the house, that child grabbed it and started rubbing their little face all over it. So I will make the octo probably pretty soon. Maybe by the time you've seen this video, I've already made it. And with whatever else is left, I will be hitting up Ella over at No Catchy Name. She has such a wonderful repertoire of no-sew patterns like this. So I'll pick out something else probably to make up with the rest of it. So that is what I got. I also got some polyfill because I'm almost done, but that was it. That was my little yarn haul. Not a haul, my visit to a little local yarn shop. I didn't really film hanging out with Miss Jana K that much because she and I just enjoyed talking together. It is really fun to talk crochet, to talk about the similarities and differences in our lives and how she's adapted to living here after being in South Africa for such a long time. And it's always a joy to kind of share some of this area with her, a little bit of the local culture, a little bit of the local history, and to introduce her to some other places that are really fun. So anyway, that was my little yarny adventure with a friend. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Thank you for coming along with me as I yarn shopped / donated, right? Enjoyed life. It was a beautiful afternoon for it, and I hope that your afternoon or your day or your morning or whenever you're watching that, I hope that has become a little bit more beautiful because we're in the same space together because I'm part of your life and you're part of mine. Thank you so much for all of your encouragement in this channel, for helping it grow, for just being present and being so encouraging, doing all those little algorithm-y, YouTube-y things. I really appreciate you. You are amazing, and I wouldn't be here without you, so I appreciate you. If for whatever reason I'm not your cup of tea, thank you so much for listening this long. I really do appreciate you. I really do, and I do hope I will see you soon. Bye!